Washington native, third-generation Washingtonian. I've been on the board of Alaska Wellness League for 19 of our 25 years. And I got to tell you, we were created for moments like this that Trump has put us in. And having done this since the late 90s and been to the refuge, Lorraine, I can't see you here. It's hard for me. Come up here and stand next to me, because you're a great friend. And Lorraine's on the board, and Bernadette. These are courageous women, and I've lobbied with them in D.C., and it's hard to imagine in 2018 where you can go around the world and use your technology for these villages that have been on the Yukon River, Venati, Arctic Village, Old Crow, Fort Yukon, for thousands of years. And a majority of their food security and their protein comes from hunting caribou when they migrate up to the coastal plain of the Arctic in spring and come back in fall. Now imagine, and they don't, you know, and you fly into these villages, there's no roads, and you hunt, and that's how you provide your food, and that's how the food has been provided to the Gwich'in Nation for thousands of years. And we're going to change this so we can export some oil to, where? China, Saudi Arabia maybe, right? You know, and everything's going on there this week. It's insane. And it's why the League was created. And one of our founding board members, Jimmy Carter, was President Jimmy Carter, was a passionate Alaska conservationist. So it's serious times, but it's all celebratory times. The first time we had this gathering was in honor of another great American president that wanted to drill in the Arctic, George W. Bush. Was in 2001. It was in my living room, and Sonia, my wife's here tonight, was our living room. And everybody's like, oh my God, we're really in trouble here. And we're still here, and it's still nobody's touched it. It's still the birthing ground for the porcupine caribou herd. But that night, it was a winter night, and Helen, you were up, and Helen Schreller, you're up in the front of the room with me with Shabankar Banerjee. And I had done my first trip to the Arctic that previous summer, maybe it was my second trip, and I said, has anybody been up there? And in the back of the room, the big deep boys, we've been up there, and it was a couple, and Ward and Lois Irwin. Lois, raise your hand. Lois is 99 years old, and they told their story that in 1969, they were in a snowstorm on the Congacud on the coastal plain of the Arctic Refuge, and they hand-wrote a letter to President Dick Nixon. And much like Trump, Dick Nixon didn't listen to him either. And over all these years, it's why you win. So you think back, 1969 is 49 years ago. She's still in here doing the fight. She met President Obama, talked about it. President Obama was a champion of protecting this place and couldn't get it done with our Congress. So the fight kind of is just beginning. And what we were created for, to hold Congress accountable, is more important than ever. And the legal side of this, with our attorneys and the Gwich'in Steering Committee and the Gwich'in Nation's attorneys, we got to play them even, we got to play them tough. We got to hold our electeds tough. The champion comes from this state, is Maria Cantwell, who's been up there camping with me, seen caribou. She went back after visiting the refuge with me in 2005, led a filibuster. The last time this Republican Congress had this idea, it was to fund the Iraq war. Now it's going to go for tax cuts. It really don't go for tax cuts, but go to Alaskans. So the fight kind of is just beginning. And it's for all of us to thank Maria and keep pressure on all of our electeds and elect people who want to protect the heritage of which is our public lands like the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. So I'm humbly asking you, as I've done for 20 years doing this now, we need your support. It's going to go to the legal, it's going to go to get more activists back and getting Gwich'in back, talking to leaders, going in interior, say, can't do this. This is wrong. This is going to destroy us as a people. from the standpoint of food security. And of course, you know, what are you talking about? They're very ignorant about how it actually works up there. So it's a big lift. But this country's been around for a long time, and the Gwinchin have been around for a lot longer than we've been a country for thousands of years. So I'm honored to work with you guys and proud to stand up with you in this fight to save this place. So support us. If you have before, we got a lot of our great supporters in the room. If not, help us as we continue this and go on. So thank you. Bernadette, thank you. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions, like where we are. Adam's the expert on all this. Kind of a somber crowd talking about this tonight, but everybody's got all the answers, right? Tell us. So anybody got any questions about where we are, what we're working on?
Yeah, what are you working on?
I think on the refuge, hopefully it was microphone. It comes out.
Yeah, just take it out.